College Football 26 just got a massive 4.5 gigabyte update, adding tons of new uniforms, mascots, and game mode improvements across the board, while also fixing some of the game's biggest gameplay issues like blocking and coverage on defense. But EA also nerfed a lot of game-breaking exploits that weren't reported in the patch notes, so if you guys want to know everything that just changed in College Football 26, stick around after the intro. If you guys need fast, cheap, reliable coins for your ultimate team, check out my coin sponsors at MMOXP.com and use discount code MONEYSHOT for 6% off your order. Link in the description below. The champ is here! Welcome back, Money Team. This is Mad Money Shots. Another college cheese as always. In today's video, I'm going to go over the patch that came out today that they first reported yesterday, as there are a lot of things that are said to have been patched that didn't necessarily change at all. But I'm going to start off by showing you some things that were not in the patch notes that were probably bigger issues that they didn't even mention. But before I do, as always, if you guys want me to keep you up to date with videos like this in the future, please make sure to be a subscriber, hit the like button, let me know in the comment section. Other than that, it's going to get right into the video. Now, one of the first things is directly related to this channel because it was one of the earlier videos that I put out when College Football 26 dropped, and that was my offense around the Wildcat wing flex, where they did mention that they adjusted some plays, but they didn't mention that they completely changed how this play works. You can see on the screen here that it still kind of breaks the defense. It still can be very successful. It's just not the same way anymore, as you have to basically stop with the running back, decide whether you're going to throw the ball or not first before taking off. So this play here still kind of works. You just kind of have to watch to see if there's any free rushers coming in at the running back. If there is, you throw the ball out. If there's not, you still have a ton of space, but it's definitely not going to be as broken as it was, because in the past you could gain a lot of acceleration kind of hanging around on the edge before deciding whether to take off or not. So this play is definitely nerfed, but it's still a really good play in my opinion, and it's still a play worth using. The next major exploit that they changed was the ability to quiet the crowd on motion plays, which was something that was getting around the community, and I was actually going to make a video about it pretty soon talking about it, but they already patched it. So I saw several videos where they're basically showing a play out of, I think, Oregon State, where a player would rotate across and he would quiet the crowd so that he would get extra space to the sideline, where you can see now I'm trying to do that on this particular gameplay because it worked with all motion plays, all auto motion plays like the one that I'm running here, and you can see that no longer works. A lot of people would run this play the open side of the field, and you would notice that a lot of defensive players, when you motion them out, or when this player would motion out and we would motion out even wider, nobody would follow and leave a lot of space to the outside. That's officially patched as well. Now, they did also mention how they improved auto motion man defense, which was also pretty much a glitchy thing where basically if a player would go across the field, a lot of times the man defender would stop or slow down. I still noticed that that was kind of not necessarily 100% patched. When it came to certain plays like the one that I put out from Alabama, you can still see how the man defender is way behind, and I think it's designed to be that way. But these auto motion plays are designed to be man defenders because it's hard for the man defender to keep up as they cross the line of scrimmage anyway, so I think that's actually pretty realistic. So that's the first thing in the patch that I don't think necessarily hit home as hard as they wanted to, but let's go over some other things, starting off with defense. Now, they talk about how they improved a lot of different coverages, specifically cover 2 and cover 4, and also match defenses like cover 3 match, which were not performing as good as they were in College Football 25. Now, when they talk about cover 2, they're going to talk about the hard flats behavior, where in the past, hard flats would drop back to the point where they would let stuff get open underneath them, and that's not really the point of hard flats. So they basically made it now so that the defenders will stay closer to the line of scrimmage. We'll see how that works out when it comes to, I mean, it really takes away the ability to hard flat in regular Tampa 2, but I think it'll help when it comes to hard flatting in cover 3 and stuff like that, cover 4. I think it'll make it a little bit better, but it also says they're now going to recognize swing routes as threats in the flat, which before they would not, because they were behind the line of scrimmage, where they would typically only react to routes that are ahead of, or above the line of scrimmage. So that to me is a good adjustment. They also made a change to the middle defender. It says it now gets deeper. I thought the middle defender, the mid-read, did a pretty good job, but they're specifically stating against 3-by-1 formations, which is 3 receivers to one side of the field, which they mentioned a couple times because that is definitely glitchy, but at least it was before the patch. Now they talk about cover 2 match, which includes cover 6 and cover 9. It says logic improvements for defenders guarding inside and vertical routes, especially in formations like bunches and stacks. Once again, you're always going to see issues when it comes to 3 receivers to one side of the field, no matter what the formation is. That's the majority of the patches that they're talking about here. It says cover 3 match. It says that they improve the logic for defenders when reacting to slot wide receivers, which typically a slot fade or a wheel route with a post route from the outside receiver would typically won't play touchdown very easily. And you can see that even after the patch, we're still having a lot of success when it comes to this route combination, although it's a little little more 50-50. I would say that this is something that if you get a good throw and you have a bit of a speed advantage, you're still going to be scoring one-play touchdowns with this concept very easily. Now, they also said that they changed how cover 4 quarters reacts against 3x1 sets, where the corners and safeties are supposed to pick up the appropriate vertical threat to ensure that the number 3 receiver is covered on deep routes. Well, this here, they always mess with cover 4 and try to get the principles correct, but they never really seem to. It's still very easy to attack this defense with a bunch formation, which is something that they typically have issues with. As you'll see here, before the patch, all I really had to do was put this receiver here on a streak, and it would allow the corner route to get open because the safety would have to cross all the way across the field to pick up this third receiver. Well, now nobody crosses. The safety doesn't cross anymore, which means this streak just gets left wide open as long as I bullet and pass lead inside. So they did change the logic, but they didn't necessarily improve it against offenses like this. They talk a lot about how they try to resolve a lot of pass blocking issues. Like they talk about how you couldn't really talk to your running back to make pass protection calls in, most likely in stadiums where the noise meter was too high. Well, it said they resolved an issue where quarterback animations prevented players from making protection adjustments blocking the running back. So I think that's more than what they're talking about. It says that they also made some blocking improvements when it comes to recognitions of stunts and loops across base, empty, and slide protections. But you can see here on the screen that the Texas 4-man is still probably the best stunt to use, and it's just not getting that release, that free release that you see the defensive end just come in untouched, where now he'll get picked up 9 times out of 10 to an extent, but you're still getting a lot of pressure because they'll basically switch and then they'll get off of that switch pretty quickly, but it's just not instant anymore. So that's cool. But it also says here that if you put base protection on, which a lot of people like to do, it says it's less effective against stunts, reflecting its man-to-man nature. So you can't just come out and go to base protection every single play and expect to pick up these stunts the exact same way. They also add the ability to untarget a defender when it comes to run plays, which on a play like this, where I'm basically just running an inside zone, if I wanted to untarget this defensive end, it'll basically make it so that, I can run away from him. Now I'm going to basically shift the entire blocking, and I don't really have to worry about that backside guy because what are the chances of him catching me from behind? So this is something that definitely requires a little bit more labbing, but there's definitely going to be some advantages. I've already seen people show how you can create double team blocks that can really help out your running based on the fact that you can untarget defenders inside the box, because you can't untarget a defender, or I can't choose to untarget a defender that's not in the box. So if I wanted to untarget like this cornerback here, it's not going to change that the B receiver is still going to block him once the play starts, because it only works on box defenders. They also brought back the ability to put your slot receivers on flat routes, which is the right trigger now. So if you want to give yourself a flat route adjustment at any point in time, you have that ability now. And flat routes are really key when it comes to defenses that drop back the outside cornerbacks like cover 3 and cover 4. As you can see, they can get wide open underneath. Next up, I'm going to talk about how they said they basically tried to fix QB contains, which weren't working very well. Where you'll see here on this play, if I just let the play run, the defensive end's going to butt on the play action before eventually going over to the QB contain, or the quarterback itself. Where now, if I switch him over to a QB contain, you'll see how he'll do a better job of following the quarterback. He's just really just telling him to make sure the quarterback doesn't get outside, and that's exactly what he does. Is we get pressure right away, as he's basically directed at the quarterback. So that was also something they made that definitely works better now. So I'm going to end the video there, as I wanted to focus mostly on the gameplay changes, as they definitely made a lot of good changes, but I would say only about 75% of it actually helped the game improve. Well, there's still room for improvement with a lot of different areas, specifically cover 3 match and cover 4 match, which still needs a lot of help. But let me know and everybody else know in the comment section what you guys think, as this is a good way to give feedback to EA. Hopefully they watch this video and they'll see you guys comments in the comment section saying the issues that you're still having problems with. Other than that, thanks for watching, man. Mush it out. Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.